a theme, touchstone to recognize a standard by which we're recognized. Okay, we know who we are. There's a standard. We talk about the standard all the time. It's not just the way we perform on Sunday, it's how we go about our life on and off the field. We got to take advantage of every opportunity. Seize everything, man. Carpe omnia.
It is week number 17 of this NFL season and time for another edition of the Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy, here inside the Globe Live studio at the beautiful Star in Frisco. Bill Jones along with Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy. We've got Saturday night football this week as the Cowboys back home to take on the Detroit Lions. Should be a big night, the final home game of the regular season. You know what that's like. Jimmy Johnson going into the Ring of Honor, and there's so much to be fired up about for Saturday night, right, Coach?
Definitely. I mean, it's going to be a great night of football. As you said on the lead in here, I just think, number one, with our opponent, Detroit playing extremely well. I was very impressed with them last year in our contest, and I think they have definitely improved and have put together an excellent season. So then you got Jimmy Johnson going into the Hall of Fame, so it's great to honor another Hall of Famer. It's our second one this year, so cool.
Yes. All right, let's talk about these Lions a little bit. Dan Campbell in his third year, have to be impressed with what he's done there as they clinched their first division title in 30 years just last week.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a cool place to compete. Just, all the years up there in the NFC North. Just have a lot of respect for what Dan and his staff have built there. And, I think the consistency of not only what they do, but how they play. So this will be a great contest for us.
After two straight road games, short week this week after playing on Christmas Eve. After that game in Miami, you said you got the team back in on Tuesday, and you spent a little extra time looking at what happened in the Miami game. What were some of the things that you wanted the team to learn from that?
Well, I think the biggest thing is always, you just got to keep going over the discipline and the details, and there's definitely a number of plays that we can learn and grow from there. I've always struggled with late in the season schedules where you don't have the chance to review the game. So, you always have, everybody likes that Victory Monday, but it's always Victory Monday with a workout and film study. So, obviously Christmas was Monday. We just felt it was important to go through the corrections, and not only just the corrections, but the things we want to build off of in that game as we get ready for the Lions.
One of the things you can build off is that final offensive drive in the touchdown pass to Brandon Cooks, working in tight quarters there. Dak Prescott now leading the NFL with 30 touchdown passes on the season. This offense is playing very well. Yeah,
we're doing a lot of good things. I just think, like anything, coming out of the offseason, we really wanted to improve our efficiency, and connected to the complementary football formula, with our defense, because I just felt like time of possession was something that we really needed to improve on. We're doing a really good job taking care of the football. That starts with Dak. Obviously the touchdown production, speaks for itself, and that's really the combination of him, the protection unit, and the perimeter. So, like I said, we've done a lot of good things. We just want to really tighten up the screws, as far as being detailed and disciplined in the details at all moments.
Look at this Lions defensive coordinator, former Cowboy Aaron Glenn, and you look at this defense, the run defense. They were 29th in the league in run defense last year. They're 4th in the league this year. What do you see when you look at that Lions defense?
Well, I think it's really a common thread. You watch them play as a football team. Not only they have a good run defense, but they're good at running the ball. So obviously you can see the commitment. It's coincided, and the reason why I'm making a big point of that, I know with our training camp, the ability to really get that established, is a little bit of a bigger challenge, just because of the climate we're in. But Aaron's done a great job. I was always a big fan of his as a player, and I think the personality that he played with, and obviously his versatility. The volume of coverage is something that really jumps off of the tape at you. So this will definitely be a challenge for our perimeter players.
All right, we're just getting started on this edition of the Mike McCarthy Show. Up next, it's David Moore of the Dallas Morning News.
Don't let 2 losses, take away your confidence. We know who we are. At the end of the day, we just got to keep putting it out there on the field and turn some of those L's into W's. Really.
The Mike McCarthy Show, presented by Reliant, is brought to you by Ford. Ford is the best in Texas. Bank of America, the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. It's Miller time. And by Reliant, official energy provider of the Dallas Cowboys.
Welcome back to the Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy inside the Globe Life studio. Bill Jones now joined by David Moore of the Dallas Morning News, Sports Day, DFW.com. Happy holidays to you, David.
You too, sir.
I know it's been going well for you. Team has not been going so well with 2 straight losses, and now you get another team coming in here, Detroit, who, with apologies to all the teams that have come in here earlier this season, including you Philadelphia Eagles, apparently the Detroit Lions are the toughest team the Cowboys have faced at home this year.
Right now, yeah. I mean, they're certainly, the Lions are still, with San Francisco's loss, those 2 teams are going for the number 1 seed at the moment and have the inside track. And, Mike McCarthy has talked before about how he loved this December schedule from the standpoint that it was going to get this team ready for the postseason. The Cowboys are already in the postseason. They don't know what their seeding is yet, but they are in. And this stretch illustrates it. Let's go back to Buffalo, a very physical team on the road. Come back the next week, a speed team, more of a finesse team, if you will, in Miami. And now back to another team in Detroit who, with Coach Dan Campbell, very physical, going to get after you. So you're seeing that you're going back and forth between the styles that you need to be able to navigate in the postseason to make any type of run.
It'll be a fun game on Saturday night, and of course the big event at halftime as Jimmy Johnson goes into the Ring of Honor. Just how big of an event do you expect it to be on Saturday night?
Well, I think this is not only Jimmy and Jerry, not only is this a weight off their shoulders, but everyone I've talked to who's been associated with those teams, players and coaches, just talk about what a huge relief this is and how it's kind of, now they finally feel they can fully celebrate that moment together. And they all emphasize it was all of us together. We all came from, near the bottom of the NFL and came up and did this before anyone expected and longer than anyone expected. And we all had a role in that, but they kind of had to walk on eggshells and it just wasn't complete because Jerry and Jimmy continually pushed each other's buttons. And everybody will tell you that. It's not one more than the other. Both of these guys have pushed their buttons for a very, very long time, and they finally got to the point after a couple of meetings this year that it's like, why are we continuing to put ourselves and all the other members of that team through that? Let's finally resolve this. We'll put you in the Ring of Honor. Let's celebrate the day. And it puts a nice bow on that whole period, I think.
You think it'll be an emotional moment for Jimmy?
As emotional as Jimmy gets, yeah, for sure. And because while he has downplayed it, while Jimmy doesn't like the ceremonial aspect of things, he's deeply appreciative and emotional of what the gesture means. And so the ceremony itself, not as much, but all of the teammates around, knowing what they accomplished together, recognizing that, it's going to be a very emotional moment for both men.
And maybe this puts the Cowboys over the hump and they can start winning Super Bowl.
The curse of Jimmy not being in the Ring of Honor, you can take that off the table as of halftime Saturday.
All right, David Moore, we appreciate it. And up next here on the Mike McCarthy Show, Will McClay breaks down some of the key performers for these Detroit Lions.
This segment is brought to you by WinStar World Casino and Resort, the casino of the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, very physical, high energy group. You can tell that they play with a chip on their shoulder, passionate guys that rally to the ball. You can tell that they have a mission, they have an identity, and they stay true to it. A hell of a defense starts with obviously that rush up front, and then they got some great group of backers, and then some good secondary players. So we've got some matchups we want to take advantage of, but that's a group that we've got to make sure that we're taking care of the ball, being smart with the ball, not giving them opportunities, whether it be the tip passes, whether it be the sacks. and stay ahead of the chains.
And here's who the Cowboys will be facing. We got Will McClay here. We got the telestrator here. And we're going to first take a look at the Lions' primary players on offense. So go to the backfield, the tailback tandem, we'll put it. David Montgomery as well as Jahmyr Gibbs, starting with Montgomery.
Yeah, Thunder and Lightning. Now what they have is a well-balanced offense. Second in the league. They're third in rushing, fourth in pass. Starts with the run game. So we're going to look at it here. They do a great job on the offensive line. Here, we'll take a look at it here. They're going to have a double team. All right, they're communicating it. Now, we see they've got the double teams. He's playing off the double team and then the read. Now, what's great about him is he puts his foot in the ground and he's the hammer.
Yes, 225 pounds worth of David Montgomery. Here he is again, number 5 here.
All right, just a great job of vision and knowing where everybody is. Here they go. They're going to get into it. They're going to run this play, and they're going to hit the double teams. You're going to end up with 7 defensive guys on one side. He knows there's 4 backside. Watch him. Puts his foot in the ground. Now he gets north and south, and then the ability to vision to see 2, and he made those 4. He made them 2 because he made those 2 run into each other.
And look where he winds up, down the sideline. All right, how about number 26, first-round draft pick out of Alabama, started his college career at Georgia Tech, and he's got like 4.35 speed.
Yeah.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
Averaging almost 6 yards a carry, as well as 51 catches, almost 6 yards a catch. But here he is right here. We want to take a look at this. You call it disappearing in a phone booth, getting skinny in the hole. How does he come out of that? He's got great vision, his lateral cuts, and then he's got the juice to take it to the house.
Well, he really showed it right there, and he also can jump up in the stands too. All right, here he is again.
All right, here he is again. Okay, great running backs. They set up their blocks. So here you're going to see him again. They do a great job at the line of scrimmage. He's going to go, the backer's hanging there. He's going to pause, set up his cut, and then he's able to bounce outside and use that speed, something we have to contend with in the run game.
Those 2 running backs have accounted for 21 touchdowns on the season. On defense, I got over here, big number 97, second pick in the draft last year out of Michigan, Aiden Hutchinson.
This guy plays over 90% of the defensive snaps. He's got an interception, which we'll see here. He's got 2 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries. He's around the ball, plus 6.5 sacks. So we'll take a look at him here. Show you how smart he is. Carolina's going to try and set up the old play, a tight end screen. Tight end's going to watch him by, but he feels it, and then the athletic one-handed catch. Now he's got to keep his eyes up over there. But a great turnover.
6'7", 270 pounds. You know that cone drill they do at the combine? It was 6.73 seconds for Hutchinson.
Yes, and we'll get to see some of that quickness right here. Here they go in the run game. Just the relentless effort. He sees it. He beats the blocker across his face and makes a tackle for loss. That motor, that intensity, running pass, something we got to watch out for on the offensive side.
He will come off the edge. Will McClay, we appreciate it. The head coach rejoins us next here on the Mike McCarthy Show.
This segment was brought to you by WinStar World Casino and Resort, the casino of the Dallas Cowboys. This segment is brought to you by blockchain.com. Make your crypto play today.
The challenges, obviously, you want to be in different personnels, different things when certain people are in the game and things like that. And sometimes you just got to play it out, So, trying to outthink what they're trying to think in situations, and especially their tendencies of when they're across the field and when they're not, when they're plus in territories and things like that.
Welcome back to the Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy here inside the Globe Live studio. Cowboys and Lions, Saturday night football this week. Let's take a look at this Lions offense now, Coach, as Jared Goff now in his 3rd year after coming over from the Rams. That's a trade that really benefited both teams when you see what happened for the Rams and then what Jared Goff has done here with Detroit.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I think, not only his play, the consistency of his play, and really the growth of their offense, but in my opinion, it starts up front. I mean, this is an excellent offensive line. Obviously got 2 dynamic backs and everything they do, as far as they do a really good job of fitting the runs to their action pass game. So this is a good contest for our defense.
And they've got a wide receiver who is a #1 target, much like what you have with C.D. Lamb. He's right behind C.D. as far as his total number of catches. Amon-Ra St. Brown. You're familiar with the family.
Oh, yeah.
Equanimous was a draft pick of yours in Green Bay. But you got to be impressed with what he's done in his career.
Definitely. And it's obviously just a great family trait, because the work ethic definitely runs through the family. But you can just see he's all day. I mean, just the way not only how he runs the routes, but the tenacity he does in his route running, but he's dynamic with the ball in his hands too. So just off to a great career so far.
You know, you mentioned the running backs off the top there, and their first-round draft pick, Jahmyr Gibbs out of Alabama, David Montgomery, who they acquired from the Bears. They have combined for over 2,000 yards from scrimmage and over 20 touchdowns. And you had a handful last week with what the Dolphins have back there, and you got it again this week with these two guys, right?
Well, it's just it's a great picture, of having two backs that they believe in, and just the dynamics. Obviously, Montgomery, very familiar with him in his Chicago days, and obviously, gives him a different weapon. And I think it really, they started this really with Jamal Williams, in the past. So I mean, you could tell it's the starting point of their offense, and they definitely do a great job of committing to it.
Let's talk about Micah a little bit, because Micah spent some time in the offseason getting himself in a position physically where he can endure the entire season. What are you seeing from Micah as we get now to the latter stages of the season where he can still play at the same level that we see early in the season?
Well, I mean, I think you just watch the way he plays, and particularly, I mean, he's always double teamed as far as they're sliding line to him. And just in my time, I've never seen a player, ability to split two and be so pressure oriented. I mean, he leads the league obviously in pressures, but I think he's clearly, I think like all these guys, as they go through their career, they get stronger in the endurance of the season. So no, but he brings good energy every day.
All right, I usually save the unsung star for the last segment. I'm going to throw in one here, though, and that would be your punter, Brian Anger.
Yeah, well,
we saw last week in Miami, punting from his own end zone, launches a 61-yarder out of there, but the consistency throughout his time here in Dallas and in his career, but you can really see it on a daily basis, don't you?
Now, Brian's awesome. I mean, not only just in the realm of performance, but also in the locker room too. So, I mean, not only the 61-yarder out of the end zone, but the ball placement. I mean, just to put it right there on the boundary. So, yeah, he's an artist with the ball, as far as hitting it as high or as long as he wants to. But his ball placement is unbelievable. But he's a great leader too. I mean, just an awesome teammate and very well respected.
And oh, by the way, he literally has a hand in 33 straight field goals made too, right?
There you go. Absolutely. No, that's part of it. That's part of leadership I'm talking about.
All right, our other unsung star of the week when we come back here on the Mike McCarthy Show.
Yeah, they do a great job of utilizing their guys. They got a great running game, and that compensate the passing game. So we got to be able to stop the run, and when they try to pass, we got to attack that too.
This segment was brought to you by Blockchain.com. Make your crypto play today.
The fans, the atmosphere, we're home. The fans definitely get the game a bit more arousing.
Final minute or so of the Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy. Other unsung star of the week is the unsung stars of the week, Coach. How about those fans at AT&T Stadium? The final home game of the regular season, looking for your 16th straight home win, and you can't say enough, can you, about the impact that they make on these games?
Well, I mean, there's no place like home. I just think that the crowds and just the juice that they bring to AT&T is just it's been incredible, and also to think that it's a Saturday night game. I know the last night game, I pulled into the stadium quite early, and it was packed out there already. And I was like, oh my gosh, game's not for another 5 hours. So, no, our fans have just been A+, unbelievable all year.
Mike, this is not just a Saturday night game. This is New Year's Eve with Jimmy
really?
going into the Ring of Honor. You can imagine what it's going to be like.
It's got all the bells and whistles, that's for sure.
That's exactly right. All right, now, just come up with a victory against those Lions. Good luck on Saturday night, Coach. We appreciate all of you joining us for the Mike McCarthy Show. Happy New Year, everybody, and we'll see you again next week.
The Mike McCarthy Show, presented by Reliant, was brought to you by Blockchain.com. Trusted by millions, trusted by America's team. Ford. Ford is the best in Texas. Bank of America, the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. It's Miller time. And by Reliant, official energy provider of the Dallas Cowboys.